life. One was leaving my dancing. I used to love dancing, and it was good because it came with cash in hand, payment and stuff.
Immediate reward, yeah.
Yeah, and also like it's just something I really love to do. Never give up. Like when you walk into a place, remember not everybody's there gonna like you, but you're there for a reason. Just focus on the end goals and don't think about what's happening now. Because some things can make someone really discouraged. But just focus on the big picture. Yeah, the best decision I made in my life was to stop focusing on things that will please people or things of the world and just turn my focus to God and like living for God. Because I can say not think. I know for sure that's definitely the best decision I've made.
So now, that being the best decision, like, is something triggered that, or was there something happening in your life that led to that decision? Welcome to It Is Still Possible. It Is Still Possible is a talk show that explores the incredible stories of resilience, hope, and triumph in the face of adversity. On today's episode, we are talking about from struggle to strength, and this is episode 4. On today's episode, I'm honored to be joined by a young woman that I respect so much because her life has been a source of inspiration, and I'm privileged to be joined here by Evelyn Karpeh. Well, welcome, Evelyn.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show, and it's such an honor to be here today.
Well, we are as well privileged to have you here, and I, strongly believe that some of your experiences that you'll be sharing will inspire someone, and they will be a source of blessing to someone. So I just want you to be yourself, and even as we share on this platform. Now, for those that don't know you, if you don't mind telling us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Hi. My name is Evelyn. I'm Evelyn Ivy Karpeh. I am 28, nearly 29. I am a nurse, a registered nurse, and also a support worker. I'm also a part of God's Purpose Church and soon to be part of the leadership team.
Well, we'll look forward to that. And you've been doing some amazing stuff around. Now, before we get to discussing some of these things, share with us some of your, favorite childhood memories, if you have any.
Yeah. There's a lot, but I'll break it down to one. So the one that really highlights the most is just being yourself and being around other kids within the community without having to worry about getting in trouble or being in danger, and just playing out in the darkness because the moonlight is usually nice and bright, so people still see.
Are you here describing your early childhood, like growing up in the, if I may use the word, in the village or interior?
Yeah, yes, definitely. In like so I didn't really grow up in like the village, but like the city part of I grew up in Tabu. So Tabu and then Guinea. Tabu is like a town in Ivory Coast. That's where I was born.
Yeah.
There was not much lights. They had lights, but there was not much. But it was a bit more like a town than a village. But yes.
Yeah, I know. As we are talking, I grew up in the village, so I know we depended a lot on the moonlight. So when the moonlight is up, that's when all the children come out and just playing in the community. Then, as we are saying, not worrying about wearing designer clothes, as long you are happy, playing with your friends, and that really makes life very important. And thank you for sharing, because these are things that people don't want to talk about, where they come from. Now, having talked about that, what are the two people, or maybe one of the most influential people, or people that have made like a lot of impact in your life, if you don't mind sharing?
Don't mind at all. There's a lot, but you know what? To make it easy, so no hard feelings for no one, I'll just bring it down to my mom. So my mother is like a role model, more than a mother to me.
Yeah.
She's also like a best friend. So I really look up to her because her bringing me up, she basically did that as a single parent. Respect my dad, but he wasn't really much in the picture. So it was really good seeing how hard she worked and how she never gave up, and how she always encouraged us to always stay humble and to remember that no condition is permanent, so never look down on nobody. and also seeing the work she does for other people kids, treating other people kids like her own, is really inspiring. It just makes me to be less selfish and more selfless. So yeah.
So that's a good point, and I want to use this time to actually say very big I don't know what to say, but thank you to those single parent out there that are extremely going out of their way to look after those children that God has entrusted in their lives, and most importantly, being a good example to them, so that they also can learn from that, and you know, basically live their lives in the way that they were brought up. So I pray that God will continue to strengthen you. Now, back to you, Evelyn. What is the best decision that you've ever made in your life? I know there are many, but just give us one of those best decisions that whenever you think about it, you are sure that yes, this was the right decision.
Yeah, the best decision I made in my life was to stop focusing on things that will please people or things of the world, and just turn my focus to God and like living for God. Because yeah, I I can say not think, I know for sure that's definitely the best decision I've made.
So now, that being the best decision, like, did something trigger that, or was it something that you self-reflection, or was that something happening in your life that led to that decision?
Oh, that decision. Well, the reason why I decided to make that choice is because I've realized that doing things for friends or doing things to please people or just doing things to be cool was not worth it. Because end of the day, you could die at any time, and you want to remember that you lived a good life. You want to die knowing that yeah, I've done what I could have done. Yeah. And also, just like I always just wanted to be closer to God. I grew up in a Christian family. But I feel like me growing up in a Christian family was not enough. I felt like I had to make that decision for myself, because I strongly believe that you have to reach a certain age to make that choice, whether you want to be a Christian, you want to follow God or not just because you grew up in a family. Yeah. So that's the main reason why I chose that pathway, and I just saw the goodness of God within my life, because we've been through a fair bit, and yeah, God just never stopped shining His light upon me and my family.
So that's very nice, and thank you for sharing that. Now, this bone of our conversation. What are some of the challenges that you personally been through, and not just the challenges, but how did you go about overcoming those challenges?
So I'll just make my focus on two challenges that I faced within my life. One was leaving my dancing. I used to love dancing, and it was good because it came with cash in hand. Payment and stuff.
Immediate reward, yeah.
Yeah, and also like it's just something I really love doing. Especially performing at weddings, parties, clubs. It felt good. It felt good because I feel like that's a way to release stress and stuff. Um, and quitting was hard. It was a tough choice, but it had to get done. Do you want me to go into it?
Yeah.
Okay. So quitting, yeah, no, definitely I will. So it was a tough one because when you're quitting something where people really enjoy you doing, a lot of people tends to back off. Like people start to leave your life, friends start to leave your life, and a whole lot of things that happened. And it was even harder to quit because the moment I decided to quit, it was the moment was starting to get more opportunities and more sponsorship and stuff like that. And I guess that's how the devil works. But yeah, and a lot of my friends were a bit disappointed, especially my dancing partners. Because they wanted 4 people, and me leaving left them to 3. So they couldn't, like, they lost that opportunity. So a lot of them got angry with me and didn't want to talk to me or have anything to do with me for many, many years. But end of the day, that choice had to be done, because that's when I first started teaching Sunday school. And I felt like it was wrong teaching the kids one thing.
And then you live in something else.
Because like the dance we did was not really inappropriate, but it's where we did it. Like going to clubs and stuff, telling the kids, don't go to club, you go to birthday parties and stuff, but live a life for God, but then me
On the
teaching
other
them
hand,
that and then doing something. I felt like a hypocrite. So I'm
yeah.
like, nah, I
Mm,
have to stop. Yeah, like it's either that,
mm,
like dancing
yeah.
and leaving Sunday school,
Yeah.
or focusing on Sunday school and
Mm,
forgetting about dancing
mm,
and focusing on growing in the things of God.
yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the challenges.
Very important that you share, this, like, seeing the sacrifices that you have to make, being able to let go one thing for, another. And this was not just about you. You have to think about the children that you are teaching in the Sunday school. Now, I want to ask the area of friends, because these are people that you've been around with, you build relationship. How difficult was it for you? Most especially, not just letting go, but how they will react and everything. Like, what helped you to say, you know what, I'm not too concerned about friends at this stage, but focusing on this decision?
Um, so it was really, really, really difficult
Mm,
because at that point, a lot of friends were like, "Oh, she's so judgmental because
mm,
she's just sitting there, not joining us, doing anything." It's
mm,
like, but I've always been like that
yeah,
because I've never really been a type that drink and never smoked in my life or
mm,
anything. They will do it. I don't mind. That's
mm,
not my choice. That's their choice. But when I said now my presence was too heavy for them,
yeah, yeah,
um, yeah, so it was tough. But at the same time, like I realized that they have their own life and their own life
yeah,
choices to make.
definitely.
And I'm like the type that is not easily influenced by
Mm,
friends.
mm,
I don't really get peer pressure by people.
yeah,
So that makes it a little bit easier for
easier
me
for
to,
you. Make that
just
decision.
make that decision.
Yeah,
Losing friends is part of life.
of course.
Like I've lost friends before
Mm,
from just relocating from Africa
yeah,
to here.
to here, yeah.
Even when you're changing from primary school to high school, you
You
lose
will lose
friends.
friends.
So losing friends was not. It wasn't really much of a concern for me
Mhm.
because I'm like, oh well,
It's part of life.
yeah,
Yeah,
who's gonna be there will be there. If it was meant to be, it will be.
definitely.
So yeah.
Now, I know people are watching, not just young people. Like, sometimes we all struggle with these things in life where we try to do things to please people. And I really want you, having come from that background, to, maybe there's a young person watching us today that, that are willing to do anything just to please people, that are willing to sacrifice their own dreams, their passion, or they know that this that I'm doing is not right, but I still have to do it just so that I can be accepted by my friends. What advice will you give them, or what word of encouragement will you give them?
One thing I will say to them, like this is some things that I say to a few of my, I call them my church foster kids or
Mm,
my play kids,
yeah.
is never lose yourself because of someone.
Mm-hmm.
Because at the end of the day, tomorrow, if you lose your life after 1 week, people are gonna
Life
forget
goes
you
on.
ever. Yeah, nobody really gonna care where
Yeah.
you are or
Mm,
if you even exist.
yeah.
So it's good to do things that is safe for you and things that will please God. Because
Mm,
the most important thing to do in this life is to live for God.
yeah.
Because only God can save us. Only God truly loves us
Mm,
and will always be there with us.
mm,
But people, whether it's family, friends,
mm,
they're not always there for you because we're all humans.
yeah.
We're all going to fall short and betray someone or break someone's heart.
Mm,
So, what I tell my girls, stay focused and do what is right for yourself. Always think about yourself and
mm.
always think about how you can grow.
That's a
And
version.
yeah, like just don't do things for people. It's not worth it.
So that's very important. And I just want to add on to that. Even as you said, your life is very important. Always think about what pleases God, because you don't want to sacrifice your dreams, sacrifice your reputation, your true self, just because you want to be accepted. You want to please other people, and these people, you can give your life for them. Sometimes they will, even when you sacrifice your life for them, they will choose to leave you and go somewhere else. So do what pleases God. Don't lose yourself in the process. You are loved and cherished by God. Now you say you are going to share two, and I believe you just spoke about
That's
what's
one.
the second aspect that you want to talk about.
The other one, the other struggle was uni.
Mm,
Yep, uni. It was really really hard because like the first year
mm,
was tricky, and it was all my fault. I take full responsibility because the first year I
mm,
was very relaxed, always leaving assignments last minute,
mm,
and they kind of piled up on me. So I gave one of my assignments to a uncle who told me he was a uni lecturer.
But they're gonna do it for you.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I used to teach nursing, it's nothing. So I'm like, okay. So he did that assignment, telling me, trusting him. I didn't even look at the assignment. I didn't even proofread it, nothing. I just submitted. So sorry, my I just choked on my stick. So yeah, I didn't proofread it. Submitted the assignment. Was excited to see the results because I'm like, his one would be way better than the one I did. So the result, it was a fat 0, a big 0, and the feedback was, oh, it was all copy and paste from the start to the end. And I'm like, yeah. So they gave me 2 options. The 2 options was I either had to repeat the entire year, or I get expelled and get kicked out of the uni because that's breaching their policy. So I repeated, and that kind of pushed me back. But yeah, repeated, did it, pass it all by myself. Never trusted anyone to do my assignment again.
Anymore, yeah. Lesson
Don't
learned.
cheat. Don't cheat. Do it yourself. So I did it myself, and like the last year of uni, everything was going good. I was 7 weeks pregnant. Went for my 3rd placement. Everything was going great. The first week was completed. It was a 2 weeks. No, it was 4 weeks placement. First week was good. Second week was good. Third week was good. All the results was perfect. But then, like the Friday of the 3rd week, knowing there's only 1 more week left, this lady, I believe she has something against me. I was the only African, anyways. Because first she told me to take on 4 patients, and the other students she told them to take on 2 patients. I'm like, okay, no problem. What doesn't kill me makes me stronger. So okay, so I did, and then there was an incident where another nurse who was not my buddy, because I like helping, so I'm like, oh, I'll help you. I don't want to go for break. So was helping that nurse, did her patient observation, everything, and I flagged that the blood pressure was very low. Tried to tell the man, go back in bed, your blood pressure is low, elevate your legs, drink fluid. He's like, no, I'm sick of doing that. I'm gonna stay here. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, there's not much I can do.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, told his nurse, and she's like, oh, it's okay. He just had his blood pressure medication, so maybe that's why his blood pressure dropped. So I'm like, okay, no problem. Clinical facilitator walked in. Oh, what are you doing? He's gonna die. No, you should have let him go in bed. The man's like, oh no, I told her I don't want to go in bed. But anyways, she's like, oh, you could have killed that patient. I'm gonna have to not pass you because you're not ready to be a nurse. You don't have my experience. So I'm like, I don't have your experience. Of course I don't. You've been nursing for 15 years. I'm a student. But okay. And she's like, oh, you can come next week, but I won't sign you off. So I'm like, oh, okay. No point. So I told my uni, and the other student wrote a letter to the uni on my behalf, because they're like, oh, we've noticed she's been picking on you since from the week 1 till now. So uni said, well, we don't have much power over the hospital, but we can send you for a different placement. And she told the uni it's because I was putting myself at risk because I was 7 weeks pregnant and playing with toxic medication, so it's not safe for me. So she don't want me to complete the placement. So I'm like, okay, no problem. So I almost gave up, really almost gave up. But it was my mom and my husband that are like, you can't give up now. You're nearly done. Just one more placement to go, and you'll be done with it. So I'm like, oh, okay. But it was very close. I'm like, God, why? Like, why?
Yeah, asking those questions.
Like, not now, because it's so hard to get placements. So I had to wait for like 7 months, and at that time I was like 7 months pregnant, really heavy. But by God's grace, got a placement at a really good hospital, and I really enjoyed that placement. And finished now. So that was a very, very, very tough one, because
I want to ask you a question in that because of course your experience is completely different from anyone else's experience. Now in that challenge, because it's challenge, it may not be for me, it may be completely different for someone else. What are 2 lessons you learned from that particular situation that you went through? What 2 lessons that you learned?
Okay, so the first lesson was from the year 1 of uni. Do your own work. Don't get lazy. Don't leave things to last minute.
Yeah.
Just do it, like it's better to do it as soon you get it,
Mm.
so you can relax and breathe,
Yeah.
than to wait last minute, because that can mess you up.
Mm.
And the second one is never give up. Like when you walk into a place, remember not everybody's there gonna like you, but you're there for a reason. Just
Mm.
focus on the end goals
Mhm.
and don't think about what's happening now.
Yeah.
Because some things get really can make someone really discouraged. But just focus on the big picture.
Picture, yeah, the
So
goals and stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's thank you very much for sharing that. And I just want to add on that life is, it's not without challenges. You're gonna definitely encounter situations and challenges in your life, but two things she mentioned here, you focusing on the bigger picture, the goal, ahead of you, what you want to achieve. Because when you allow those situations to hold you back, definitely you will not be able to achieve your goal. And something else that I want to add on that, in the midst of that, don't lose sight of God. She spoke about the support that she received from her family, that's her mom and the partner and many other people in her life. She received that support. You can depend on those that God has placed around you, but maybe you may not have your mom there, you may not have your dad there, but there is a God that, He is a father to the fatherless, and He's always there for you. So I just want to encourage you that it doesn't matter what you are going through, just keep holding on to God and keep trusting God. Now, before we finish the discussion, you share two things here, like challenges that you've gone through, that you've experienced. Maybe there's someone watching us that may be going through some challenges in their lives, completely different. It may not be about education, it may be about their personal life, maybe about their health, their relationship. What advice or word of encouragement can you give them?
Something that really helps me a lot is not everybody needs to know your problem. If you are facing some sort of challenges, it's better to pray. Prayers always works, and don't only pray when you're in problem. Pray without season.
Yeah.
Pray just to say thank you to God. Even just always pray, because I feel like, especially past 1 2 years, I feel like prayer is definitely the key, because I can definitely testify to that. And always rely on God. Like my favorite thing that I always think about is always letting go and letting God, because no point of stressing. We're human beings, we're gonna stress naturally.
Yeah.
But stress makes things worse. So for me, I just like to have faith and just let things go and just rely on God for His guidance. And yes, because only Him can really show us the right path and the right thing to do.
That's a good one, and thank you very much for that. Now, lastly, as a person, because I see you are involved, not just that you are a mom, you are a wife, you work and you do other stuff. What keep you motivated or inspired? Like what keep you going?
One thing that keeps me going is I want my kids to have a better future.
Mm.
I want them to be inspired, to have like
A role model.
Yeah, like someone to look up to, because I had that and I feel like that helped me a lot, and I want the same for them or even better. And just that's one thing that really keep me going.
That's a good one. So you're just trying to create that the environment and a comfort for your children so that they have somewhere to start.
Yeah.
It's a good one, because many of us growing up, we didn't have that. Of course, the environment was there, but we didn't have many of those opportunities. And I just want to use this time to say a very big thank you for you honoring our invitation and being actually open and vulnerable, sharing some of these things, because these are things that people don't normally share. Before we end, is there any comment that you want to make? Final comment before we end?
Well, thank you for the opportunity. It was great. It's nice sharing certain things. Yeah. So thank you for having me on your show once again.
Well, welcome, and we truly honor you and for accepting our invitation. Well, that's all we have for you today. Before you go, don't forget to like this video, share, and leave a comment how you were inspired or blessed by this episode. Until next time, stay safe and be blessed.